A common mistake that many English speakers who are learning Spanish make is when to use aplicar or solicitar. So although it might seem like aplicar is the word to use in many situations because it sounds like to apply in Spanish, we actually have another word for apply, solicitar, and when you use each one, it varies quite a bit. So we're going to go over when you should use aplicar and when you should use solicitar and how you can distinguish between the two of these. So the main point of confusion when using solicitar or aplicar usually is using aplicar when you should use solicitar. So we're going to go over first when you should use solicitar. And so the word aplicar, it sounds like you should use it in many situations because it sounds like you're applying to something. Like in English, we could say, oh, I'm going to apply for that job. But in Spanish, you wouldn't say aplicar here. Instead, you would say, voy a solicitar un trabajo. And think of this like a solicitor. Like in English, we have the word solicit. Think of it like that, someone who's coming and trying to sell you something. Think of it as like trying to sell yourself to an employer. You are soliciting a job or soliciting a service. This is when you will use solicitar instead of aplicar. Another couple examples to help you kind of understand the difference and when you should use solicitar are that you can say, debo solicitar una respuesta a esa pregunta. So I need to request the answer to that question. And this is, again, like, so think of it as like soliciting. It's more formal. So that's where the soliciting kind of comes in, if that helps you to remember it that way. Or you could also say, quisiera solicitar su atención para esta cuestión. And this means like I should like to draw your attention to this question. So a very formal sounding, and you probably are not going to speak like this. Like in English, you don't speak like this all that often. But the main situation that you are going to use solicitar and you need to know when to use solicitar is when you're applying for a job or a scholarship or anything that is not actually applying something onto yourself. Which brings me now to aplicar. So aplicar you're going to use pretty much for the rest of the situations that weren't covered for solicitar. Unless you're specifically applying for a job or applying, like soliciting something, then you're going to use aplicar. So if you're applying something onto yourself, like if you're putting on your makeup, you would use aplicar, or you would use like the verb maquillarse. But if you want to say apply, then you would say aplicar. So you might say, like, if you really need to apply yourself in your studies or in your Spanish homework, whatever it is, tengo que aplicarme en los estudios. I need to apply myself in my studies. Or maybe you're applying something onto yourself, like sunscreen. Like I have to wear sunscreen because my skin is so fair. I would say, necesito aplicar bloqueador solar porque soy tan pálida. Right? I have to apply sunscreen onto myself because I'm so pale, so I have to wear sunscreen. So in those situations, then you would use aplicar, and really most of the situations you'll use aplicar. All right, I hope that you guys found this lesson today useful, and if you like this video, remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. And if you have already, thank you so much for helping my channel grow. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you guys back here again on Thursday. Ciao.